back and as best as we can hope to be. Right? I don't want to say better than ever because I feel like that might be false advertising.
No, I think we're better than ever. I mean, the goal is to be better than ever every single week.
Just become the best version of yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
As Peter often tells us. This is episode 5 of season 3, and we have a spectacular guest.
This is United Sessions, by the way, fans. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's the name of the podcast.
Branding.
We are excited to be joined by defender extraordinaire, can play midfield too, by the way, Mr. Will Seymore. Will, thank you so much for joining us.
What's up? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Excited to have you on. Excited to talk through soccer and a lot more than soccer, I think, this evening. But in addition to all of that, I'm going to give away a pair of your signed boots.
Yes,
We're going to tell fans how to do that towards the end of the episode. We're talking about life. We're going to play a stupid, silly game.
Of course.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But Will, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
for
thanks.
coming on.
I appreciate it.
Inaugural United Sessions appearance.
Yeah.
I'm going to say United Sessions as many times as I can because I clearly messed that up earlier. Thank you for joining us. We know that this is the time where the season is really gearing up. We know you're getting on a bus tomorrow,
Yes.
heading out to Tucson to start the preseason campaign for your black and yellow, and we're so excited to hear your thoughts on that. But I really think there's a pressing question that's really hung in the ether of the New Mexico United faithful since the minute we signed you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can give us some clarity on this, it would be really, really helpful.
We have a lot of people asking this question.
my best.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Why are you so impossibly handsome?
That's not a serious question, right?
It's a very serious question from Lucas.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
No. I can't even answer that question because I don't agree. I don't think I'm that handsome. You know, I think my mom and my wife think I'm that handsome.
Yes.
and
Let's
that's
get them in the
about
comments. Maybe they can provide more clarity than you can.
it. I don't have an answer for you, honestly. I don't think like that. I think.
Well, I'll
that's it.
provide an answer for you. It's a combination of great genes and great physical makeup, but also you're just an incredible personality. And I think that's what it really comes down to. Everyone who's been around you for more than 5 minutes is like, I like being around this guy. We can share a lot of the experiences that we've had together with Will, whether those be community appearances, whether that be related to the pitch. But you have come in and been an endearingly warm personality right out of the gate. And I guess that's the more serious question. Like, where does your philosophy come from?
On being a person.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gotta be my parents, like my mom, my pops, like, they're both really sociable people, like kind of like me, they're pretty like, warm people and everyone kind of gets along with them. But I mean, they just, are pretty people that, always like, try and get along with people and then, always respect and, if people, help you out more and stuff like that. So, I mean, my parents, my grandparents, like a lot of my family are all very kind of social butterfly type people. My dad less than most, but, he's still a very likable guy and stuff. And so I would say my family, like, and I've been able to travel a lot of places around the world, like move around a lot through my family. So I think it's just a thing I've kind of picked up on, being able to connect with people quickly because I've never been in one spot for too long. So.
Well, I'm sure that provides you a tremendous amount of perspective moving around, right?
Yeah,
I was a military kid myself. A lot of different locales, a lot of different people that you come across as a part of that exposure. Like, how important is it to go into those situations and just be like, yeah, I'm going to make the best out of this?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's obviously tough sometimes because moving around, like especially when you're younger, it's like, you kind of try and make friends. It might be at school for like a couple of years and then you got to move on again. But I think, like you said, it's just one of those things like growing up, even into my teen years, like, moving away from home, going to college and stuff. It's just, you get used to it. I think you kind of just adapt quicker, you settle quicker, and you're kind of more comfortable, being yourself, really, being alone and kind of like being, I guess, self-sustaining. But it's cool. Like I said, the perspective of living all different places is in the, I wouldn't trade for anything really.
I had the distinct pleasure last season, kind of towards the end of the season, to meet your mom.
Yeah.
She came to visit, watched a match, but also came out to training. I remember was out there at training. It was I think it was kind of a blustery, wet day. And then there's this woman out there at the training facility inside the gate, just kind of watching. I'm like, who's this person? No idea who it is.
Yeah, that's my mom.
I just walked up to her and I meaning to ask her like, hi, what are you doing here? She's like, "Hey, I'm Will's mom."
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she knew
Yeah.
that I was concerned about there being a
Yeah.
random person there. And we talked for probably a good half hour.
Yeah, she said, no.
She's a big football
I mean,
fan.
the context for that story is pretty funny because I remember telling her, I was like, when we go to the training, like, you can, there's benches on the side, just you can sit down after we start, whatever. And she's like, all right, yeah, no worries, no worries. And I remember that day I was doing a regen and I was jogging around, and she just was walking around the parking lot because she was taking pictures of like the desert. Because she lives in England.
Yeah, of course.
Taking pictures of the desert, and she was taking pictures of these like holes in the mounds. She's like, I think there's tarantulas in here. So she was walking around taking pictures of these holes in the dirt, thinking they were like tarantula holes. And then obviously, like, she just was hanging outside.
Yeah.
And that's when you saw her. And I was like, Mom, why are you walking around the parking lot?
She's so nice.
Yeah, she is.
I think it was like a half hour, 45 minutes just talking about football and growing up in England and talking about you and your story and how she met your dad and all these things, like open book.
Yeah, like, so you can see kind of like where I get it from a little bit. She's very social butterfly, endearing person and stuff. And, everyone, you could say the same. A lot of people that know my mom, she's very the same. Like, a lot of people get along with her. Like, a lot of the team met her. Brucey's met her. Like, so, yeah, she's, I get that kind of outward.
Well, Mama Seymore, this is an important message for you. The tarantulas do not care for the high desert mountain land. It's a little cold, a little elevated.
We're all
for
very
them.
Grateful for that. But
my neck of the woods down in the south part of the state, she's not wrong. Yeah. There is a hole that's a very distinct tarantula hole, but you won't see him in hills and you won't see him up in the northern part. So next time she comes out, let's make a trip down to Roswell. We'll capture a tarantula. It was part of my childhood.
Maybe an alien.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, if we're in Roswell.
The confusing thing is that she has arachnophobia.
So why was she up in those?
Again, she wanted to
face her fears.
No, she would. I think she'd pass out if she saw a tarantula. But yeah, no, she just was. She enjoys traveling. She's gone to a lot of places I've played, and she likes to travel and experience all that kind of stuff. So
yeah. And so your mom grew up in England. Your dad's from the States.
Yes.
How did they meet? Tell us that story, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think it was pretty like a usual kind of military story. Like, he was in the Air Force, and he got stationed in England, and then they just kind of met that way. I think, it was, I don't know the complete specifics of it.
Sure.
Because they both tell me a different story sometimes.
So that means you're not supposed to hear the real story.
Yeah. Well, no. But I think,
which means we really need to hear the real story.
I think
get in those comments.
Yeah. I think it was, they met out on a night or something like that. And,
sure.
Yeah, they just met like that. And I think they were together for a couple of years. And then my dad got redeployed back to the States, Texas. And then he was like, hey, like, come with me. My mom was like, yep. And then that was basically it. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's love.
Yeah.
Hello, Carlos. Hello, Wes. Hello, Robert Romero. Robert says, I've run across tarantulas on the west side around the petroglyphs. That's where I live. I don't like to hear that.
Yes.
So, thanks.
Robert, please bring David a tarantula.
Please don't do that. But yeah, hello, Wes. Hello, Carlos in the comments. Guys, if you have questions for Mr. Seymore, throw them in there and we will make sure we get to them. Lucas mentioned towards the top of talking about you being handsome, but basically it
was an important point, Dave.
He's getting at an origin story, and that's kind of what we want to start with here. Kind of take us through your footballing journey, right? You've played in the Irish Premier League, you've played here in the States. What is your journey from start to now in the game? And that can start, by the way, with you discovering the game as a kid.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, so I first started playing soccer when I was in England. We lived in a place called Bicester, Essex, and this was when my dad was still in the Air Force. And I think it was just, living in a country like England, like, every kid plays soccer, like in the street, every park you go to, it's only one sport. So it was just kind of like that. I went to school, and every kid, like I said, like still as a kid, I was very, outgoing and stuff. So every kid was playing, football, like in the courtyard or on the playground or whatever. So I always just wanted to join in. I was always the youngest kid playing, and just kind of started that way, and just kind of got really into it that way. Took it really seriously. Like, my dad was a big kind of part of that in terms of, both my parents were, but my dad, he always really pushed me to, like, pursue sports and obviously education, but he always kind of really pushed me for the soccer route and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, he retired. We came back to the States, and he just started contracting. And then, yeah, I played a lot of club soccer in Maryland, Bethesda Roadrunners, MSC United, Baltimore Bays, some decent clubs like in that part of the world or America. And then when I started getting older, must have been like 12-ish is when I started, my dad was like, realizing, hey, like, you're pretty good at soccer. Like, is this something that you would want to do, you know, because, you know, I'd done track, I tried other sports, and I just wasn't into it like that. So then that's when kind of like I was getting kind of like letters from colleges over here to go visit, kind of, you know, younger. And then um, every summer me and my mom, we'd go back to England to visit family. And like while I was back, I'd always just go and play at like free camps that maybe like League One or League Two sides would put on, mainly Colchester. I'd go to their summer camp every year, and I would go, and I would always like win a bunch of competitions or trophies and stuff. And then I think it was after like the third year of going, they invited me to go on trial.
Yeah.
So then it was kind of like, you know, do I want to stay in England, or do I want to go to England? Do I want to stay in America? And it was obviously much more than my soccer. Like my dad, his job, and my mom, kind of, they made a decision that we made decisions as family, went back. And yeah, that's when I kind of started seriously. I kind of was in Colchester's Academy for a little while. I was living at my grandma's in Essex. And then after that, kind of got released, played a bunch of different like kind of non-league clubs. And then we moved to the Cambridge area, joined Cambridge's Academy, did decent there. Would get called up for county a lot. So like in England, you have
Go on the U. Go on the U.
Yeah, Cambridge United. Yeah,
it's the original Yellow and Black Army.
Yeah.
By the way, that's where we stole that chant from.
Yeah.
Was from Cambridge.
the Amber
There you
Army. It's
go.
the Amber Army, actually.
Well, they have a chant. It's
Yeah,
Yellow and Black
yeah,
Army. We
but
stole
it's
it.
the Amber Army.
The
It's
Amber
nickname.
Army.
Amber Army.
That's what they go by.
Yeah, the Amber Army.
Okay, that's good to know.
But
It's important to Will's personal history as well.
It
no,
is.
no, it's not really.
He's a member of the Amber
No,
Army.
not really, because they let me go from the academy. So,
All right, so never mind. Forget all that.
But yeah, and then so like, you know, I'd get called up to county, which is kind of like it's an important part of like youth football in England. So you have like county, then you have like different regions, and then basically you get called up to like England schoolboys, which is like, you know, you play other countries and stuff like that, and then you can get scouted to like the actual England international FA and stuff. So I'd get regularly called up to county playing like non-league. I was the only kid that wasn't in an academy, and then I got let go from Cambridge. And then really at that point, like I was at a point where I was actually gonna stop playing, because I, you know, football, like in England, if you don't play professionally, you usually choose school or football. So like I got let go from academy like 17, and I was like, all right, like probably not going to make it. I was going to go to schools. I was going to just like get a job, trades or something like that. And then I had a friend, he's actually my best friend. He went to school at Fort Lewis, D2. So he went through like a scholarship program where like they go and they scout, and then they pick out players from England and they get them scholarships. And he's like, hey man, you really got to do this. Like America's really fun. Like, so I was like, yeah, cool. And then did that, and then got an offer from Oregon State to go there, and then kind of went through the American system, like drafted, kind of traded back and forth, all this kind of stuff, and ended up in Albuquerque. So
there it is.
Before we press forward with that story, which I'm sure there's some more interesting facets, but I want to rewind a little bit, and I'm just curious about the mentality when you start a sport versus when you're progressing through it. You know, you started this and you loved it. There was something about it that you loved. Was it that you were good at it, or that it was just really fun to you? And then when you got to that point where you're really making the decision, is this a future for me? Is this something I want to pursue with? What goes into making that decision? What are the factors that put you over the top one way or the other?
Yeah, I think when I'm younger, it's obviously more fun. It's enjoyable. You're not really thinking about, oh, I can make a kind of career out of this. Your mates are playing. You might be on the same team as your mates. And as I went through it, like it was just more enjoyment. You know, I had a lot of mates. Like all of my mates played football. Like went through different academies together, different mates, different teams, all that kind of stuff. And then when you get to a point where it's like, you know, 12, 13-ish, you're kind of like, okay, like 14-ish, it's like, all right, like, you know, do you want to pursue this? Because you're getting to that age where, like, you know, obviously school is probably getting more serious, like other sports, etc. And, you know, my dad was a big part of that in terms of, and my mom as well. They both were big parts of kind of being like, okay, like if this is something you want to do, you know, you got to start to sacrifice. You know, you're not going to go out with your friends. You're not going to be staying up late, all this kind of stuff. Like, and that was really kind of, they kind of set me on the path really in terms of, you know, if this is something you seriously want to do, then you got to commit to it, kind of thing. And so they were kind of the reason that I stuck through it. The reason when I kind of was thinking about giving it up was more, like I said, in England, it's obviously football in England, like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, NFL, NBA over here, where like every kid plays it. So, you know, I was an okay at football, and there were kids that were like, I can count 20 friends that were 10 times as talented as I was, and they were just more like played for better teams, all that stuff. And I think it's more you get to that, I was like, okay, like realistically, am I going to be able to make money, or am I going to do this? Especially in England, where you have to drop out of school to go and play.
Right.
And I think that was where I got to that decision where it was like, okay, I'm probably not going to make it here. But again, shout out to my friend Jordan Alexander. He just was like, hey, like you got to try this. And luckily for me,
good job, Jordan.
Yeah,
we all appreciate you, Jordan. Thank you.
Luckily for me, I went and I had a good trial, and and I got a scholarship offer from Oregon State, and kind of everything else kind of fell into place, really. So,
well, you ended the previous question with arriving in Albuquerque, and I think we can all agree that's the most important thing that's ever happened to you.
Correct.
And ever will, because this is the best place in the world.
We love you, Naya.
She's a Pequeño, I've been told.
That's right. That's right. She is. How would you describe your first year playing at the Lab in front of the black and yellow faithful? How would you describe, your first year of being in this community, and how that's compared to being a player elsewhere?
Yeah, I think the first thing for me was like just living here. I've really enjoyed living here. I mean, coming from Ireland, obviously completely different culture, but
yeah, and I want to dive into that, by the way.
Yeah, being in Albuquerque, it's like I said, the weather's great. People are really friendly here. The food's great, and I think it just was very welcoming in terms of for me and my family, obviously, and playing here. Obviously, it is the best atmosphere in the league. I think it is something that it's good because as a player, you want that pressure. I think you want to play somewhere where not only are people going to support you when you're doing well, but if you're not playing well, like you'll get told. And I think that's something that is important because.
Did you find that not to be the case in other places you played?
Ireland, no.
Okay.
You got told if you didn't play well.
I was going to say that would have surprised me if that wasn't the case.
Other places like in the States, I think you did, but not to the effect as it is here.
Sure.
I think it just shows that this team means a lot to the people in this city and stuff. So
yeah,
it's something that like I said, it drives you as a player. Like you have to be better because there's expectation on you not only from yourself and your team and obviously results, but people pay hard-earned money to come watch you play, so they want to see you win and do well. So no, that was important to me. Like I said, a lot of things kind of have been things that are been good for me as a player and a person, and I've really enjoyed my time in Albuquerque so far. So
I'd originally phrased this question as Oregon State, but we've gone past that a little bit. So I think I'll expand it out a little bit more. You've had this rich, storied history throughout football. And I think one of the things we really like about United Sessions is we're getting deeper. We're getting into the stories. We're getting into more of the behind. So who are some of those characters that you look back on this journey and you're like, that person was crazy influential. That person really got me here. And I don't mean to be rude, but you can't mention your parents anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, the first and foremost, I think, my best friend Jordan, like me and him, we played probably up until I was about like 14, 15. We played every level together. When I moved back to England, and he obviously was kind of the person that was really like, hey, like, put me on that path to get a scholarship to go to the States and stuff. And I think in another life, he could have been a professional footballer. He played striker and stuff, but he just made different decisions. But to this day, he's my best friend. I talk to him every day, and he's someone that obviously I kind of confide in a lot, like about soccer and stuff. But yeah, like I said, I've been lucky to play all over the world, and I've met a lot of characters, personalities that I've learned lessons from. I think like when I first got drafted in Dallas, there's a keeper there, Chris Seitz. I'm not sure where he's at now, but just little stuff where you pick up everywhere. And I think like he said something about, it was funny, it was the first day we were doing fitness, and obviously you're a rookie young guy, and a lot of the rookie and young guys coming in, they're fitter than most of the guys first day of preseason, but these guys have been playing for God knows how long. And he just came up to me and he's like, listen, fitness, there's no winners, just survivors. So basically just don't run ahead of the veterans or you're going to get in trouble kind of thing. So it's just one of those things that's, I think
that's good to know.
Yeah. You pick up stuff like that. And, when I was at Vancouver, I played with a lot of great guys there. Like, I had a coach there. He's at Charlotte now, Paul Maduka, center back. And, he taught me a lot of simple stuff about the game because he's played a lot of places in the world as well. And just things like as a player and a person, you kind of just stick with you, even if you don't stick, if you're not at the same team as this guy, you kind of take little bits here and there. And, in Ireland, like even, like my manager, my second year, Ollie Horgan, he was manager of Finn Harps, and just kind of like learning about, toughness and kind of like just sticking through stuff. Like the second year, he was a very tough man in terms of like his football philosophy. So yeah, it's you kind of pick something up everywhere. And I'm sure, whatever my future is, I'm going to take a lot of lessons from, Zach or guys I've played with here as well. So I think that's one of the coolest parts of, traveling around. And,
Is it still the case that there are no winners, only survivors on fitness day? Because you guys had that this past week.
Yeah, I think really it's, yeah.
Is that something you should not answer on a podcast?
When it comes to fitness, especially when it's in preseason, it's like, it's all the stuff that you've done yourself. So it really is up to you kind of thing. And that's about it really, because it's like,
are you in shape or you not?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's up to you, right?
There was a little fear in Will's eyes right there when you said, "Are you in shape?" Like he didn't know that the second part. He's like, "Yes, I am."
Will, are you?
I am quite in shape, sir.
I saw the results of the fitness test. You did quite well, so not at all worried about that.
To be fair, everyone did really well. So
they did. Yeah. They did. All right, we're gonna take a quick break here. When we get back, we have a few questions from fans. And want to talk to you a little bit about being a black player in the U.S. and in Europe and what that means for you and for other black players around the world. So we'll be right back with section 2. I always do this. Segment 2 of United Sessions. Stick around. All right, go ahead, Lucas.
We are back with the indomitably handsome, cool, and amazing Will Seymore. I am Lucas Cash. This is my good friend David Weesey Carl. This is United Sessions, episode 5, season 3. Nailed it across the board. And so that means I get to go into the first question. And you brought this up a little bit when you talked about the England system, when you talked about decisions that were happening. Talk about hearing no throughout your career. How does it aid in your development? And how has it motivated you to take the next steps that you need to take?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it a lot. I mean, I've had some horror stories like kind of with that word throughout my career, but it's one of those things I think when you hear it or whatever situation you go through when it comes to a rejection in that sense, in the moment you're in, yeah, it's obviously it's really tough. It's like I've had some of the toughest moments in my life, like to do with soccer with no and that kind of stuff. But when you persevere and you kind of like look back, it's like, man, like I think if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be able to kind of reflect and also try and keep yourself in a position like I am now. Like I'm going to always work hard to kind of keep myself in a position now. So it is important, but obviously it would be lying saying it doesn't suck when you hear it. So I think it's kind of one of those like kind of harsh lessons that
make it of it what you will.
Exactly. It is something that I think, I don't think anyone wants to go through it, but you always are better when you go through something like that because you can reflect. I think the most important, reflect on yourself and think, whatever their mindset was about saying no, you'd be like, okay, what can I do better? Because then the next time it comes up, it's you won't give them an excuse to kind of say no.
So. Well, I think it's with anybody in life, right? You get a no that you weren't hoping for or expecting or anything like that. You kind of have an option at that point. You can say, damn, they were right. I'm not good enough and I give up. Or you can say, well, I'm going to prove them wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing because, and the thing is, I think the big thing for me that I learned as well, because like I said, I heard a lot of no's, and some of them were ugly no's and all this kind of stuff. But I think, you learn to not take things personally because, you as long as you look at yourself, you can improve yourself, and you can't put your energy into like, oh, this guy thought this about me. It's like, well, that's his opinion, kind of thing. Gotta move on.
Yeah.
So
I want to talk to you a little bit about, we mentioned it before going into the break, being a black player in the US, being a black player in Europe. Have you found that that's added an additional pressure or responsibility on you? Have you found that it's added additional complications? And have you had to deal with, people being racist on the pitch, around the pitch? I mean, what does being a black player in the US and in Europe mean?
I think honestly, like, it is a different experience for both. I think, in America, in most sports, I think, I'm not saying that there isn't that issue, but I think in America, the awareness of it from most people is there. Where I think you go, like I said, when I was younger growing up, I'd get it all the time.
Yeah.
I'd get a lot of, the stereotypical like monkey stuff or all that kind of stuff. And growing up, because I was like mixed race, my dad always told me, he was black, he came from the South. He always said, even though you're mixed race, you're black, like you're gonna have to work harder than most people, kind of thing. And some people are not gonna like you just because of you, kind of thing. And
Sure.
I think that's something that, like, I've always thought about. And I think I don't really think it's like an added pressure. I think it's more of like, I always think of it as like, if someone's like that, then like it has nothing to do with me. Like it makes someone else look bad. Like if someone wants to be like that, like that's my thought on it. And I think,
but I imagine if somebody is like, let's say it's a fan, right? Let's say you're playing at a match and
which I've had. Yeah.
We've seen situations like that, right? Whether that's in Europe or here in the States. I mean, is it easy to just, you're turning the other cheek right now, and I applaud you for it, but I imagine that can't always be easy in the moment.
It's more like, like I said, like for me, I hear it, and I've always had the mindset, like, if you feel that strongly to yell that out, like, how bad does that make you look?
Sure.
Thing. Like if you got to say that in public, like, whatever, if someone thinks that and they don't say it, then that's whatever. But like, if it's like, all right, well, you look ridiculous, kind of thing. And I think when it comes to the sports, I think a black player's reaction to whatever, they have the right to react however they want. But everyone's different. For me, I'm like, okay, like I want to go and win the game, because then I just want to rub it in someone's face, because like if that's like what gets you mad, then you're gonna be really mad
when I score a goal.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I think, like I said, everyone has a different reaction when it comes to black players, and every reaction is right, honestly. So I think it's something that everyone's gonna have a different opinion on it, especially black players. But I think, as long as you handle it how you want to handle it, and either way, it's going to raise awareness, because, you go win the game. It's like, all right, we won the game, but this guy said this. Or if you want to walk off the pitch, and it's going to raise awareness either way. So I think, it's one of those things. I think everyone has different experience with it, but the message is still the same, that, it is not right, but I think it's something that has been and will be. And it's like,
you kind of prove them wrong with your performance on the pitch.
Yeah. And your mentality, like you prove them wrong with, okay, like I'm going to react or I'm going to walk off. Like either way, the game goes on, you lose the game, that fan's gonna be mad. Or the game gets stopped, that fan's gonna be mad, kind of thing. So there's
not a right or wrong way.
It's a lose-lose for that person. So it is what it is, kind of thing. So
well, and Dave, you bring up a new can of worms, right? One that we can open up, which is just this whole idea of a fan entitlement, for lack of a better term, when it comes to sport. That I'm a consumer. You're taking my money. I bought a jersey. I bought a ticket. I bought concession stands, or I bought stuff from the concession stand. I am owed something, right? And I think a lot of that sort of behavior manifests out of that, and it's wildly unhealthy. And so to hear someone take the approach of like that, you can almost put them in their own little bubble and say like, look, they're painting their own reality. They're not painting the reality that I am here. But as an athlete, I want to kind of look at the other side of that coin. How more valuable does it become then that you have someone who is crazy supportive, crazy positive? You can look at all your familiar structure, you can look at your friends, but on the other side of that, of the racist, horrible fan who's saying deplorable things, how great in comparison is the fan who's just utmost supportive?
Yeah, no, I think, it is one of those things that, when you're a player, you can feel like the energy in a stadium, the support, whether it's, from family or friends that, even just seeing him in the stands, when you're at a game and you have very strong supportive fans, like, it's the, the stereotypical like 12th man kind of thing. Like it changes your energy and stuff like that. So I think, I mean that it's as something as like degrading as the other thing can be, it's uplifting to have the really can, when you know that people who you don't even know support you because
that's the rub.
You represent a team that kind of represents what they're about, kind of thing. It means a lot because you have people that, okay, like I have people backing me. I have 10,000 people backing me and I got one person that's not, kind of thing. So I think it does
focus on the yeses is what we always say, right?
So I think it makes a difference, like no matter who it is. So it's something that is very important as a player. And I think that's, again, another thing as a player that you want to go out and give your best because you have people that you've never met before, you will never meet, but they're coming to watch you play and they're going to support you no matter what, kind of thing. So
do you feel any additional responsibility, again, as a Black athlete? You have, young Black players who look up to you specifically. Do you feel any extra responsibility in that space, or is it more of just, like I said, you're blocking out the bad stuff? But I imagine that might be, I don't know, might feel good to have that extra responsibility.
Yeah, no, I think for myself, like it's kind of, it's two things. I think I try to just go out and do my job as best I can, as admirably as I can, and as honorable as I can in terms of trying to be a role model, because it is a privilege to be a professional athlete. But at the same time, I think it is a nice thing to know that I have, young Black players looking up to me, and even if they don't want to play soccer, they're like, hey, that's someone that kind of represents good values and stuff. And I'm not a perfect person, but I try my best because you never know who's watching you on the pitch, around a game, when you do appearances, all this kind of stuff. So it is something that you have a responsibility just as an athlete, but also being someone who's Black as well. It is something that I would hope that, like, if something rubs off on a young Black athlete, whatever, it's like, to kind of carry those values forward and be the best person you can. So
I can tell you inspire a lot of people. I think a couple of them are in this room, and we're very grateful to have you.
I appreciate
big
that.
fan.
Big fan. Actually, someone in the chat actually said, it was Clint, said, I will, big fan. We got a couple of questions from the chat here. Some of them a little more serious than others. I'm going to start with one that's maybe a little less serious but fun. Ryan asks, has Will ever tried to grill a steamed ham?
Grill a steamed ham? No, but I know that's from The Simpsons. So and the reason I know that is because in Ireland, when I signed there, The Simpsons, I don't know if you know, The Simpsons in Ireland is like huge.
England too.
But Ireland specifically. And I understood this because when I went there, I was like, why does everyone can quote every Simpsons episode here? It's because like when growing up over there on the TV, there was only like, I think it's like a certain amount of channels, and The Simpsons was always on one channel all the time.
So wait, there was like a Simpsons channel?
So it was like a channel that they just showed The Simpsons all the time.
That's amazing. I want that channel.
Yeah, so like
it was ahead of its time.
So a majority of people in Ireland are like just well versed in The Simpsons. So like I remember when I signed there on Twitter, it was literally just that. It was all just like Seymore quotes, like
Seymour Burns.
Yeah.
You I got it.
Yeah, like all this stuff. Yeah, like, and it's from an episode, but like they all know it over there. So no, but I've never grilled a steamed ham.
David Carl is a renowned impressionist, which a lot of people don't know. You want to back off a mic a little bit and give us a Homer Doe?
Oh, I don't know if I can.
No! It's pretty good. Pretty strong.
All right. A question that is a little more serious, but also still fun. What were Will's favorite parts of being in an academy, and what parts would he change, if any?
Favorite parts, just being around football every day. Like, you wake up, go into training. I mean, when I was in academy, it's a little different than what it was probably now. When you're in the academy, when I was in the academy, is that it was very bit more, I wouldn't say hazing, but I had to clean a lot of the first team's boots. I had to clean the first team locker room, do the laundry, and then go train later in the day. And then when they're done, clean all their stuff. But it was fun because like it taught you that, like, all right, like if this is where you want to be, like, you got to put in the work a lot, and it was just kind of part and parcel of youth football in England. But yeah, just like being around football every day. Things I'd change. I don't know. I mean, I think it's not anything I'd change, but I think it's something that has just organically changed in terms of like the culture of academy stuff.
Okay.
I think, when I was younger, academy coaches and the culture was very like, it was very much kind of tough love, very hazing, sink or swim type stuff. Older players in the academy, how they treated the younger players and even like the staff and stuff. But I think that's just something that's organically kind of just phased out of the game. Like you would never some of the stuff that, how you get treated when I was in the academy nowadays. It'd be impossible.
I don't think if I was a first team player, I would be comfortable with the academy kids cleaning my boots. Like, honestly, I would feel pretty terrible.
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. Like, I'm a grown man.
Yeah, but that was the culture. It was just, they'd come in from training, they'd be muddy.
Yeah.
And you'd be assigned a first team player and throw your boots down and be like, make sure these are clean by the time I train. And if they weren't clean, you would hear about it the next day.
That feels a little bit kind of like military hazing kind of thing.
Yeah, it was, and it was just very like, because that's what it was. It was like, when you trained on the furthest pitch from the first team. And if you wanted to get to the first team pitch, you had to work your way up. 18s, reserves, yada, yada. And it just, again, it was very tough love, sink or swim. And
symbolic too.
Yeah, it was very sink or swim, tough love, symbolic, like, all that kind of stuff. And it was obviously crap work, like like literally cleaning.
You can say shit.
Yeah, cleaning the balls, like wiping mud off balls or the boots or picking up laundry. But you're like, oh man, like this is what I want one day,
Yeah.
When I think those experiences have to be formative in sort of an appreciation to today, right? You look at individuals like your James Salazar, the director of soccer operations. You look at your Carloses, who do all the director of sports medicine stuff. You look at your teammates, right? I don't know that a lot of people know the behind the scenes thing, but you guys clean your own locker room.
Yeah.
And so that's got to be like a humongous cultural shift.
We should talk about Soji Day sometime.
Soji Day is amazing, but we're darn sure not having our academy boys go down there and take care of that stuff. They do their own business. They have their own Soji Days and their own responsibilities, but you guys take a tremendous amount of ownership as a first team.
Yeah, and I think that's important for us because, like how Zach and staff, Mac, Junior kind of phrase it is, it's like, we don't need anybody else to kind of take care of what we do kind of thing. And that's something that translates, obviously, through the simple act of Soji Day of cleaning and all that, but also, on the pitch, like, there's gonna be stuff that like you might not want to do, but if you want to win, you got to do it. Kind of.
You got to do the dirty work.
Yeah. So I think it's something that it's good. Like and it's changed from last year, which is good. But yeah, it's an important part of kind of the team culture for sure.
Darren in the chat asks, "What are some of Will's goals for the season?" That can be personally and team wise.
Well, personal, I have a lot of goals. Like I'm not sure if I want to put them out there.
That's fine.
Like but I'll just say like my personal goals, like I won't be able to achieve them unless we as a team achieve it, and obviously win a trophy is like the number one, but I think, just making Western Conference Finals, making it far enough to put ourselves in a position to win a trophy is probably my main goal for us as a team.
Bringing a home playoff match to these New Mexico United
exactly.
Nuts.
Yeah, stuff like that. So I think being better than last year, I think we had a good year last year, but I think we could have done better. But just stuff like that. I think, the personal goals are something that, I do have personal goals, but again, like they're really inconsequential if we don't do the business as a team. They're never going to come true. So
yeah, I like that. Another question in the chat from Carlos. In your perspective as a professional, what would you say is the key to the kids of New Mexico United Academy in getting to a professional level?
I think, without trying to be too cliche in terms of, I think the whole like hard work and talent type stuff, I think, a lot of it is hard work. Like I think I look at a lot of players who I've or played against or etc. that, I look at the ones who are still playing. They may not be the most talented, but, they are able to be consistent. I think that's a big thing is consistency is that I think that's the number one thing I learned kind of transitioning from young to kind of younger, experienced, veteran, whatever it is like that, yes, obviously you want to have like game 9 and 10s out of 10s games, but as long as you are consistently, 7, 8s, like you are a consistent kind of performer, and that's in training games. Like I think that's the most important thing because you can maintain a level kind of thing, and it's all well having like a 10 out of 10 game, but if you go the next week and 2 out of 10, it doesn't really help anybody. So
yeah, you'd rather be a 7 or 8 consistently than a 10 than
so I think that just comes from, if it's a young player, just trying to do the basics well all the time. And that's you build consistency that way. So
cool. All right, we're gonna take a quick break.
Yep.
We'll be back with the Silly Stupid Game, and we will tell you how you can. You want to grab them, Will?
Yeah.
You can win a pair of Will Seymour's signed boots. These things are beautiful Puma boots.
Puma.
They are. That's how it's pronounced in the UK. But signed boots from Will Seymore. We'll tell you how you can win those. Excited to get that to you here in just a few minutes. But stick around. We'll be right back with the third segment of United Sessions. Stick around. Welcome back into segment 3 of United Sessions. Lucas Cash, David Carl, joined by our friend Will Seymore. We're going to play a stupid, silly game. We're going to tell you how you can win Will Seymour's signed boots. But first, we're going to talk about what our star signs are. It's really important. Linnea Romero, who is an excellent, excellent piece of the Somos Unidos Foundation, a friend of ours. She is in here in the studio with us right now, watching the live stream of the podcast. Also a big, big advocate for star signs, astrology.
Yes.
Recently had a birthday party that was all around astrology. So, Lucas, what's your star sign?
I think everyone can gather this based off on how often I cry, how emotional I am.
You're a
Cancer.
Cancer. Okay. That's my mom's a Cancer.
Yeah.
June.
Gail.
Yep.
Shout out.
Shout out, Gail.
Love you, girl.
She was a guest on this pod a couple years back. Will?
I'm a Pisces.
That's the twins, right?
The two fish.
Two
It's
fish.
a fish, and
Two
that's
fish.
my mom.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Look at that. We got everybody. I am a Libra, fall equinox specifically.
Oh.
First day.
It's
of fall.
important.
I think it is. I don't know.
Sometimes I listen to people talk about astrology and they talk about like third moon descending
Oh yeah, like your
or
moon,
like
your
That's-
rising.
That's her.
Yeah,
Okay.
Linnea's
Yeah.
very much.
She's
into
got
that.
all like the
no, Linnea, now is not the time.
She's got all
You
like
stay
the-
over there.
She's
got-
blushing off
she's
camera.
got like the incense and like the rocks.
Yes,
right.
she's
Yeah,
into the gemstones. She is.
Yeah, a bunch of them on her desk. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's. I'm pretty sure she's like seancing every day.
Honestly, like
But no, she has a spreadsheet.
Yes, she
Like
does.
we're not joking about this.
Ah.
This isn't something she
They're-
just does like
this is-
hobby
they're
wise.
putting you on blast over here.
No, this isn't on blast. This is. Oh my god, this is excitement. Actually, no, she put
You
together.
don't
a
get to
spreadsheet.
talk if you don't have a mic.
She. You can come talk on my mic if you want. She put together a spreadsheet of all the employees and all the players and their star signs.
It feels nefarious.
I feel like
bit
yeah,
strange, a little strange.
when like my moon is in the second house, I'm gonna be like struck with the.
It
voodoo
feels
doll.
like she knows. Like she just comes in and she just nods at you and she's like,
Oh, I know.
I
I know.
could have seen this one coming.
All right. We're gonna let's talk about
Let's
winning.
make
these,
more fun of Linnea.
No, let's talk about winning these boots. So, Will, we got these awesome boots that you brought in. They are going to be signed by you tonight, and they're going to be given away to a fan. We're also going to post this on social media. But first crack to win this these pair of boots signed by Will Seymore will go to the viewers / listeners of United Sessions. So you're going to do a couple things. First and foremost, you need to follow Will Seymore on Instagram. Will, what is that handle?
It's at Will Seymore.
SEES.
Yeah, it's like C's, like I
Will
sees
Seymore.
Yeah.
Clever.
So go follow Will on Instagram at Will Seymore. We will check, and you'll only be eligible if you have followed Will on Instagram. Second thing you need to do, go to somosunidosfoundation.org, click the donate button, and donate any amount, $1 or more. Do those two things, and you will be eligible to win Will's boots.
Yeah. Do they don't need to put a code in here or anything
So,
for
no,
the Somos Unidos side?
There is a spot, I believe. I'm going to click the link right now just to be sure. When you go, there's
add a
notes
little
section.
note in.
There's a note
United
section.
Session.
Yep, add United Sessions in the notes right there. You will be eligible to win Will's signed boots. So follow Will on Instagram at Will Seymore. Make a donation of any amount, $1 or more, to the Somos Unidos Foundation, and you will be eligible. Sound good?
Good lad, Will.
Sounds good,
Cool.
yeah.
Thanks, Will,
I
for
can't
doing that.
I cannot wait to win those boots and put them in my closet and never use them.
If they're signed, you should never use them. That's right. All right, we're gonna play a stupid, silly game. Lucas, take us through it.
Well, here's the thing, David Carl. I actually wrote 2 games for today.
Overachiever.
Yeah, no.
That's a typical Cancer move. Right
But
there.
I'm very happy that Will loves a good pun on his own name,
Yep.
i.e. the Twitter handle Will Seymore.
Yeah.
So actually the game we're going to play today is Will Be More. And the way this works is I'm going to read you a series
Linnea
of,
almost spit out her water. Up there.
it's pretty good, Linnea. Thank you. Basically it's a would you rather game.
Hey, Linnea,
Okay.
what's your star sign?
Spit
okay.
take.
No,
Okay.
she's a
Capricorn. Yeah,
that's
I
it.
knew it. I could just tell.
Yeah.
You gotta stay away from her.
Well,
Well,
100
here's
like-
what it is. A Capricorn is a goat, right?
She's the
and we
goat.
all know that
She's the
Linnea is
goat.
the greatest of all
Let's
time.
go.
So there you go.
All right, we'll be more.
So would you rather be more? And you will know from these games, I am always terrible at grammar.
Okay.
Which would you rather be
You're the
more?
baddest at it.
I'm the worst at good talking that there ever was.
I don't speak so good.
Yeah. So I think you'll get it based off of the first question, but if
Okay.
there's any issues, we're happy to clarify.
All right.
And by the way, fans, feel free to participate in the chat to give your opinion on these. And
We always love it. Yeah. What would you rather be more? A wildly successful and handsome soccer player or a moderately successful and slightly less handsome lion tamer?
That's so specific. That's so specific.
I mean,
anyone else is welcome to write the games, guys.
Nope. Nope.
I mean, lion tamer would be pretty cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
It's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of respect.
But you have to sacrifice some of your good looks.
Yeah, but
that's because you got mauled by a lion. One time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it makes you more devil may care. You got a lion scratch across the face.
Didn't one of like Sigmund or Freud get like they got eaten? And the Simpsons predicted that, by the way, ahead of time. Yeah. They do that. Sorry.
Ireland knew about it.
Simpsons predict the future all the time. They predict the future all the time. They got like so many things right. This is way off topic. Lion tamer.
But I'm just saying, can we work a lion tamer goal celebration into the season if one happens?
I don't even know what that looks like.
You got a
ring.
Can you get one of the other players to be a lion and then you ward them off with an invisible?
Might be tough.
All right.
That might be a lot of coordination.
Yeah, I think it's a little too much. Probably a yellow card in that.
Yeah. Also. Yeah.
All right. So what's your answer on this one?
Lion tamer.
Is that it?
I'll go lion tamer.
All right, lion tamer.
Yeah.
All right.
So Will's not happy being a soccer player.
So Daryl disagrees with you. Daryl said he'd rather be a wildly successful and handsome soccer player. I agree with you, Daryl. I would rather be that. We all want to be Will Seymore. Pretty jealous, to be honest. All right, next one. Would you rather be more? What would you rather be more? An animal of prey that occupies the sky, the ground, or the water? So you could be like a hawk. You could be a shark. You could be a snake.
A tiger, a bear.
Yeah.
The water.
The water. That was emphatic.
Yeah.
Is there a specific water animal of prey you would want to be?
Like a shark, sure. Or like what are the killer whales?
Ooh, orca. All right. So I'm glad you brought this
dork.
up. Yeah,
I'm dang it, Will.
So thank you for boosting my ego here. So we had a little bit of free time during the lunch hour today, and a bunch of us were talking to. I don't know even how we got on. I think you brought it up, Lucas.
Probably.
Everybody in the United front office. What animal would they be?
You know what's actually funny about this is that we did this last year.
No, you didn't.
Oh, you did. On
the players.
Team. Yeah.
Let's go.
We went through most guys on the team.
Oh my gosh.
What was yours?
I didn't know what mine was because I didn't want to. You can't pick your own. You know?
No, I know that, but they didn't tell you.
I picked my own. It was a weasel.
I can't remember what mine was.
Yeah,
maybe a hyena or something.
Okay.
Okay.
It's pretty dumb.
Hunting packs.
Yeah, but there were some pretty funny ones. I mean,
you should be a painted dog. That's like an elegant hyena.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I laugh a lot, so that's I think the hyena.
Rashid Tete has my favorite laugh in the history of our club. His laugh is the best.
His laugh is infectious.
It really is. But the reason I brought that up is that the animal that was assigned to me was a killer whale, an orca.
Didn't you see the resemblance?
Good animal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do a whale sound on the stream here, but okay, I like that. So going with the ocean, and you would be specifically an orca.
I think so. Yeah.
I love that.
They eat seals.
Just because I'm terrified of like the ocean. So
really,
yeah. So.
Oh, so you feel like if you were an orca, there would be nothing to be
typical
terrified.
Englishman there.
Yeah,
scared of the ocean.
You know, the big blue is.
Are you also scared of the sun?
No.
Because they never see it there. I mean, I grew up on the ocean, so for me, like I love that stuff. That works out.
It's like my nightmare. So.
Huh?
Will Seymore, what would you rather be more, a sneaky good golfer or a sneaky good billiards/pool player?
Billiards, pool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just growing up in England.
Dang, you're emphatic on
billiards.
This.
Billiards and pool is huge. Like, and I know like there's a lot of golfers on the team and stuff, and it's controversial, but I just have never been into golf.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
Neither I've lived on a golf course. I've lived on a golf course several times in my life.
Well, this has been United Sessions. I appreciate all. Have a good week.
Lucas loves golf.
Maybe it's because I'm bad at it, but sorry, Chris Weehan. I know you're a big golfer, but
Kalen's a big golfer too. We've got a couple golfers on the team.
Jerome Kiesewetter was devastating with a four iron on every shot.
Well, it's funny because both billiards and golf are huge in the UK.
Yeah,
huge.
I'm more of a billiards guy, just because like a lot of my English family, like being down the pub and everyone plays pool and billiards and stuff. So
yeah, that's much more my scene than out in the elements.
Yeah, so I'd say billiards.
That's a good answer.
All right, well, Seymore, what would you rather be more, a great writer or a great singer?
I mean, it's got to be singer, right? Like,
does it?
I mean, more famous. Like, if you're a singer, like I'm married, but if you're a singer, I could get any girl.
Whoa! Be careful, William.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think if I could sing,
you attract a mate.
Yeah,
I get that.
I think singing.
You already attracted a mate.
I know.
He said in a hypothetical world. Come on.
But also, if I could sing, my wife would be more in love with me.
There it is.
Like,
is that true?
I can't sing.
Croon for
I cannot sing.
Like not even a little.
No.
Okay.
That's
I
shocking.
sound like
You have a pleasant
I
voice.
sound like an orca when I sing. So
hey, well, don't hate on my people. No, for me, I think I'm middling at both. I think I'm a better writer than I am a singer.
You're a great writer, Dave.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I enjoy writing.
I've
But
never heard you sing.
I enjoy singing. I'm better at it after a few beers.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't everybody?
More perks come with being a better singer.
Probably true.
Yeah.
Unless you really hit like the peak of writing, like unless you're writing like the novel that is like the New York Times bestseller, I would say 99% of writers.
But even then, you have no idea. Like your favorite movie, who wrote it? You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's mean.
No, it's a good point. It's a good point.
Like
Like my favorite movie of all time is either Forrest Gump or Shawshank Redemption. I don't know who wrote those.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Please shame Dave in the chat, everybody, for not knowing.
If Dylan Cuellar is in the chat,
old producer Dylan.
Yep. Robert Romero has responded to a few of these. He said for his animal, he would like to be an apex predator, a lobo.
Beautiful.
And then
Through and through, Robert.
Yeah, he's wondering snooker or 8-ball on the billiards. Snooker. All right, I got that. And he says I'm a smooth baritone. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Robert.
Get the barbershop quartet going soon.
All right, Lucas.
All right, final one. Will Seymore, what would you rather be more? A scarf or a beanie?
This was stupid. This is a stupid
This
question.
is not stupid. This is a great question.
It's a dumb question.
Before I answer, can I get the context behind like what would you want? What does either of those choices tell you about somebody?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's a dumb question.
No, it's deeply psychological, Dave.
Is it?
Yeah. Think about
very Capricorn or Cancer or whatever the hell you are.
Think about the functional differences between a beanie and a scarf.
Okay.
They're keeping different parts of your body warm.
That's true.
They have different sort of additives to your overall fashion structure, right? To me, a scarf is a little bit more in your face. A beanie is something that can always just kind of be there.
See, I don't agree with that.
Oh, really?
No, I mean,
I wear beanies a lot more than you, so I guess that could be the bias.
Well, I think the way I wear a scarf often, so if it's cold enough for me to wear a scarf, unless it's a soccer supporter scarf, which is different. But if it's like cold enough for me to wear a scarf, I've got it wrapped and then tucked under my coat. So I don't see it as very show-offy at all.
It's very,
I've got like
very supportive.
Yeah, I've got like a pea coat and it keeps my neck warm.
But also, let me ask you this: when could you just beat someone mercilessly with a beanie?
I'm not going to beat someone mercilessly with a scarf.
But it would be a lot easier.
Dear Lord.
Could you? Could you? How?
He nodded up at the
soft.
end. Look, all right, I'm going to disclose a vulnerable story for me.
Oh,
I got attacked by a goose when I was a child, and it was terrifying. We had no weaponry to keep this goose off of us.
Got to always have your goose weaponry.
My heroic dad, Bill Cash, he was on a jog, and he just takes off this sweaty T-shirt, right? And he wraps it into a knot at the end, and he just thwacks that goose.
Geese are mean.
Yeah, they are mean,
Yeah.
and luckily
swans are mean too.
My dad showed restraint. He didn't hit it in the face. Just gave it a good body shot, and that goose was right out of there. Yeah. I'm saying you do the same thing with the scarf, just knock that bad boy off.
But aren't scarves?
Get out of here, Goose Town.
Like softer material, like cashmere.
Yeah,
I mean, you can make anything hard if you wrap it into a knot enough times. Will
I don't know.
that's philosophy.
I'm gonna go with a beanie.
All right, because you're on top.
Just because I wear a beanie more than a scarf. You know.
It was a really stupid question.
I'm a very practical person. I'm going to say beanie.
I'm going to go scarf for the same reason. I wear scarves more than I wear beanies.
In fairness to Dave, it was a really stupid question.
It was. But I also love a good soccer supporter scarf, and I'm going to include that in there. Robert says he prefers an ascot, which is a great alternative. I like that. Fred from Scooby-Doo would be very proud.
Absolutely.
All right.
A little disappointed. I mean, I think we could run through.
Yeah, we're going to do the second game. Let's do it.
He more or me more?
Yeah, so he more or me more is the other game that Lucas put together. I like this game more than the first one. Again, before we hop into that, remember you can win Will Seymour's boots by following him on Instagram at Will Sees More. And by donating $1 or more to the Somos Seniors Foundation, make sure you include United Sessions in the note section of your donation there, and you will be eligible to win. But now let's get into he more or me more. Lucas, walk us through it.
It's a classic who wins in this scenario more times game, right? Okay. This is not a one-on-one competition, but let's say there's 100 of these competitions that we have. Who wins more? He more, i.e. the person that you're up against, or me more?
Okay, me more as me.
It's Will.
That's you.
Okay. Yeah.
Me more as well.
Okay.
All right, you want to go first, Dave, since I went first last time? Or
up
I guess
first,
we get 6 this time.
Up first, the competition is arm wrestling. Is it he more or me more? Will or Alex Tambakis?
Tambakis.
Not even close.
Not even close. No.
He's much stronger than you?
I wouldn't say he's much stronger than me, but He's just got bigger hands, like big arm.
Goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper. Yeah.
Does he get to wear the gloves?
Do you get to wear gloves?
I mean, he tries to punch me every day, so I think I'd say 10 back. It's like,
do we need to be concerned for your
Alex?
safety?
Nah, he's just he's a big UFC guy, so I think he tries to practice all that stuff on me sometimes.
Grappler?
Yeah, he just walks past me, puts me in a headlock. So
he would be a horrifying person to fight in the octagon, like the length,
the
strength.
Yeah, he's a big lad.
I'd probably say 10 back. Seymore.
Okay.
All right.
Lucas.
The competition, my friend, is a foot race. And is it Seymore or Seymore versus Austin Yearwood?
You guys are both pretty quick.
Man, that's a tough one. We actually had a big team conversation last year about we kind of went through a bunch of stuff last year, like top 5 best weak foot on the team or top 5 fastest and stuff. So I was
best weak foot on the team. The man won goal of the year with his weak foot.
Yeah, I know. Usually is rapid.
Yeah,
like
he is 100%.
And his like physical test scores, he's a freak, honestly. So I don't know. I mean, I'm probably gonna say Yearsley's, but I'm close. I would say I'm fast, but
this is a 51-49 Seymore.
Yeah, I'd say Yearsley probably beats me.
Will is really espousing the portion of our ethos that is humility. Right
yes,
now. He said Seymore both times.
Yes.
All right, see if we can change that right.
You guys are picking people that are better in that things than
This is on
look. I don't put 15 minutes of work into these games for them to be lackluster. Okay.
You put 12 minutes of work into them for them to be lackluster. All right. The competition is a cook-off. Seymore or Seymore, Will versus Kalen Ryden.
Oh my God. I know Kalen is a big griller.
Okay.
I think he is a big griller. But my wife is a nutritionist, so I have
but you're English, and that really gives you a handicap in this case.
I mean, fish and chips.
I love fish and chips. Yeah.
Bangers and
mash.
Yeah.
Shepherd's pie.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Sticky toffee.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 things. That's it.
That's all.
Black pudding.
4 food groups of Britain.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go me on that one.
Oh, Seymore.
Just because I think I've silently picked up stuff from my wife.
What is your dish of choice when you're cooking? If you had to, you can make one dish to impress somebody. Exactly.
Yeah, you got to beat Bobby Flay.
I'd lose that.
Signature dish.
I would. It'd be pretty cool if you beat Bobby Flay.
I'd probably say
bacon.
No,
just bacon.
I could cook a good chicken parmesan.
Oh, chicken parm.
Yeah.
I love chicken parm.
But also, I'd say some ribs.
Love ribs.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Why not both? Porque no los dos.
Yeah,
that's too much for one meal. That's why.
Not for some people. All right. Seymore, Seymore. The contest is a dance-off.
Oh.
And it's you versus Sergio Rivas.
I knew you were gonna pick Sergio. I knew.
I really wanted on one of these for you to, like, as soon as it was said, like before you even hear who you're playing, it's like, oh, me, or oh, whoever else it is.
Well, if it's Sergio, it's gonna be like me. In a dance-off?
Yes.
Yeah, it's me. It's me. I love Sergio, but
is that because you're a good dancer or Sergio's a bad dancer?
Both.
Combination of the two. Okay.
I've never seen Sergio dance, but I know he's not a good dancer.
Okay.
He listens to country music.
Oh, that's
that's
all right.
He's a country guy.
We don't want to offend our country music.
Line dancing, right?
But
shout out Brownie Ray.
Line dance. He can't. So
he can't do that.
He just likes country.
How do you know he can't line dance?
I've seen.
You've seen it?
Yeah. I've seen him attempt it. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going me on that.
All right.
Like 70 or 80-20 on that.
Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go.
Sergio learned how to dance.
All right. Up next, Seymore. The competition is a trivia contest between you and Harry Swartz.
Me.
You're going to beat him every time?
Yeah, me.
You're a trivia guy?
Yeah. Unless it's at the NBA.
Oh, yeah. And the man knows this. He knows NBA. He knows NFL pretty well,
big
too.
Sports guy. Yeah. I think I would beat him on most subjects.
See, I was going to go one-on-one basketball as one of these, and now it's good to know that Harry's.
I think he'd smoke me on basketball.
Yeah.
Really?
Unless it was like an inside game where I could just post him up.
Okay.
But outside perimeter shooting, that he's crazy.
So funny story. I love trivia. Bar trivia is one of my favorite things to do with friends. A couple friends and I last offseason went over to, where was it? Don't remember where it was. Some local pub that doing bar trivia. And we walk in, and who's there but Austin Yearwood. We see Austin there, and Maddie's there, and they're hanging out, having a beer. And they're there to play.
This is when you're out on Tramway.
Yes, this is out on Tramway.
Yep.
They're playing trivia over there. And so, okay, they're signed up for trivia. We're going to sign up for trivia too. We made our team name the Boston Nearwoods. And then we won.
Yeah, usually I can see
he was good.
Very smart guy.
I think they finished like second or third. And it was just the two of them. They were very good.
Me, Harry, I'm going to go me. Most subjects, I'm going to go me.
Yeah.
I watched so many pointless YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like, I think when I'm done soccer, I'm going to go on Jeopardy. I'm going to try.
I love that. So Harry would beat you if it was just sports.
If it was like the NBA, NFL, I think he'd probably smoke me. That guy, he actually has he knows where most NBA players went to college.
Yeah.
Like that's he has a thing.
One of those.
Where he could be like, he's like, oh, I know.
That's that Northeast.
Southwest Mississippi Valley State.
Also, actually,
Northeast
Harry
loves basketball.
is also a big TV show guy.
Okay.
Like he has.
So this would be a real good showdown then. If you got a couple good.
He's a TV show freak.
Yeah.
Like he has a list that he showed me, and it's like an Excel spreadsheet type list of grades.
It's like Dylan Cuellar in movies.
Like basically grades of every TV show. And there's like hundreds. And he's got like a different scale. He's got different genres. And he's got like A to F, like why they're A to F. Like so but the thing is, he wouldn't be able to answer questions about him. He just watches them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He just fires through.
I think I'd beat him in that. Yeah.
You know what Harry Swartz doesn't know anything about? Harry Potter.
Oh, really?
Or at least the last time we had him on the podcast.
Oh,
do you remember?
right.
Like his lady had to bail him out of everything.
Yeah, and she knew her stuff.
She knew her stuff.
Yeah, he didn't.
I've heard maybe since Harry has tried to get a little bit better, but
I would hope
let's
so.
get him on the pod. Let's test out this.
We did pre-test and post-test.
Yeah, this alleged knowledge.
All right, last one.
Yes, here we go. He more or me more? The contest is modeling down a catwalk. And it's you.
Will's like me. Don't care who it is.
It's you versus Sam Hamilton.
I mean, Sam has never changed his facial expression.
I know. That's what makes him mysterious. He's constantly in blue steel.
Blue steel, yeah. One look.
Stuck in blue steel his whole life. Like, I actually think he only laughs around me, and it's kind of unnerving sometimes. You know?
He's plotting something.
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like you could bring it.
I'd say me.
All right.
Sam is very
handsome.
Yeah, he's got a cut jaw.
Yeah.
I always say he looks like the policeman from Terminator 2.
Yeah, I could see that.
He always looks like that. Like he's just intense and hair is always perfect.
I mean, again, very, very handsome, very strong. Yeah.
Even the way he runs, terrifying. If he's chasing you, it's terrifying. Like if you got the ball, just give it away. He's gonna,
just kick it out of bounds.
Come kick you. Like honestly, like so. I don't know. I mean, he's a very intense person.
All right, I'm adding one more in here at the end.
Let's have it.
And the competition is whatever competition you want it to be against Ford Parker, your friend and roommate. And by the way, explain a little bit about your relationship with Ford. You guys are tight.
Yeah, I mean, that's my boy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's funny because I'm gonna get roasted tomorrow at training for saying this, but because at the start of the year, I was rooming with a bunch of different guys. And
this is last year.
Yeah. And then me and Ford just roomed together, and we've just been rooming together ever since. And we game together.
What games do you play?
We play Apex.
Okay.
I mean, I carry him. So
you ever want to lose it? You ever want to lose at Overwatch? Let me know.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not get into this now. But, no. But yeah, like me and Ford. I mean, being serious, like not only is he a great person, but great in the locker room, brings energy every day, great goalkeeper and stuff. So, I mean, I just really get along with him. He's pretty funny as well.
He's also great, phenomenal at community appearances.
Yeah.
I mean, goes out with the kids and you get some players who go out there and they'll be doing stuff and they'll let the kids win. No, Ford wants to challenge them and make them better. Not in the way Ford wants to win, although he is very competitive. He wants to make the kids better. He's great with them. He's so much fun to bring out.
I mean, he's Albuquerque.
Yeah, I love Ford. Love that guy.
He knows everything there's to know about Albuquerque, and I think he just is very proud of being from here. And I think it's fun to see. He, we did an appearance in Gallup. You didn't. I don't think you went. It was Chanel went.
Yeah, I was. Did I? I did not go to the one in Gallup.
We were in the bus. It was him and Estrada.
That was the snowy one.
Yeah, him and Estrada were having this heated conversation about who knows more places to eat in Albuquerque. And Estrada, he knew a few, but Ford just was like,
he's from here.
Yeah, Ford, literally, if you could, that game on Google Maps where you just take a picture of something in Albuquerque, he could tell you exactly where it's at all the time. But yeah, no, Ford, that's my boy. I mean,
He truly does define what it means to be a Burqueño in all the best ways.
No,
I love the guy.
He's honestly, he's just makes me laugh a lot. So
Love it.
But I mean, I don't know
what's one thing you beat him at and one thing he beat you at.
Okay, I like that.
I mean, I'd beat him at every video game.
Every video game.
I carry him in everything.
Okay.
Every win
Come on, Ford.
Every win we get on Apex, it's like he's got like 1 assist and I've got like 6 kills or something.
Got
so
it.
like, but
you wouldn't have gotten there without that 1 assist.
I mean, I needed bait somehow. You know, I need someone
set
else
the
to
trap.
shoot.
You gotta set the trap.
Someone else to shoot at him, and then I can.
That makes sense. You got to distract.
Yeah. Something he would beat me in. I mean, I'm sure he could beat me in a lot. I mean, like
goalkeeping.
He's pretty good at
Albuquerque.
He's pretty good at trivia as well. Actually,
yeah.
Like he would.
We should get together.
Be a good trivia
one
guy.
of the podcasts. We'll figure it out how we're going to do it microphone wise. Get a team of like 4 players against 4 fans in trivia or something like that.
Yeah.
4 fans, 4 front office, 4 players,
and then like money to charity.
Yeah.
Yep. For the foundation.
I think Ford would beat me. He knows a lot of stuff. Like he's very just knows a lot of like we can reference a lot of movies or like stuff in the news or current events and all that kind of stuff. So
well, good on you, Ford.
I like that. I like
way
that.
to be a good friend.
We're going to do trivia.
An Albuquerque representative and ambassador and a knower of things.
We're going to do trivia where it's 4 players, 4 front office, 4 fans that we bring in, and all 3 of them are
4 dogs.
Well, yeah, sure. And Cat. I mean, Cat, you got me. Then the chat is competing as well.
We're going to be playing
We're going to be playing against a very smart cat.
I'm actually
a gifted cat.
Yeah.
But no, that'd be fun. And the money raised, we'll find a way to raise money and send it to Someone Seems Finished. You got me excited now.
I can't wait to meet the gifted cat.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Some exciting. Actually, I have 4 gifted cats. Crazy. All right. So again, make sure you go follow Will Seysmore.
The wheels fell off.
Yeah,
we were doing so good.
Follow Will Seysmore on Instagram. Donate at least $1 to the Somos Niños Foundation at somosniñosfoundation.org. Click donate and make sure you put in your notes section United Sessions. You do those 2 things, you are eligible to win the pair of boots that we see on the screen right now if you're watching live. We're going to leave it open for a couple days. We're going to post it on social media as well, so some other folks will be participating, but you guys who are watching and listening get first crack at that. Going to raise some money for the foundation. Going to get Will's follower count up on Instagram. Will, thank you for donating these to try and raise some money to do some good in the community, man. Appreciate you. And thank you for coming on. Next week,
shout out time for him, or we could do now next week as well.
Do your shout out time. Well, you get the floor for a minute to shout out whoever you want.
All right. Shout out my wife, daughter Naya. She just started walking, so she's been a menace.
Hey.
Shout out my parents, Jordan. My boy Emery Welshman up in Canada. My boy James, Sean back in England, Kieran as well. My boy BA in Portland. That's it.
That's a great shout out.
Yeah. I love it.
Wonderful.
All right. Next week, we will be delayed by 1 day.
That's
we'll be
right.
on Tuesday instead of Monday.
Somebody has to go to the Super Bowl.
Going to watch my Eagles compete in the Super Bowl. Very excited about that. Go Birds.
My dad's pumped about that too.
Your dad is. That's right. Your dad's an Eagles fan too.
Yes.
Go Birds. Smart guy. But yeah, we will be back on Tuesday. We will have our guest all lined up. We'll let you know who that's going to be. But until then, Lucas, Somos Unidos.
We are united.